G'day Internet, welcome back to another video. Now, across the history of this channel, I have had a bit of a habit of putting modern screens into vintage handheld game consoles. I've done both my Lynxes, I've done my Sega Game Gear, I've done my original Game Boy, and off camera I've even done my Game Boy Color. But the one I have never done is my Game Boy Pocket. And that's what we're going to do today. I have a collection of things in front of me that's going to help us, as well as a kit from Funnyplaying. So let's get started. So what are you going to need? Well, obviously you're going to need your Game Boy Pocket. I have my not a Dremel tool. I have my soldering iron. I've got some IPA and some cotton buds. I've got my eyes so I can actually see what the hell I'm doing. I've got scissors, I've got some cotton buds, I've got a new set of flush cutters because I have a bad habit of abusing mine by using them for things they're not meant to be used for. Some flux, I'm using rosin soldering flux this time. Never used it before, but I'm sure if I don't, someone in the comments will tell me to. I've got both double-sided sticky tape and Kapton tape, that was loud. I've got some solder. That's my old solder. Screwdriver kit for pulling the thing apart. The kit itself, instructions on my laptop, and a sharp knife. So let's start by seeing what's in the kit. So here is our box of fun. And in here we have, what's this? Oh, that's my receipt. In here we have, if we open this up, a few things. We've got replacement front lens. I've got in here, this is the cable, the conversion cable, a tiny cable for the touch sensor, and a weird little bit of mod wire that's in there. And in here is the screen itself. And I believe this is the adhesive outer, and it is. So that's what you get in the kit. But first things first, let's pull the Game Boy apart. Right, first up, do we have any batteries in it? No, we don't. First is the tri-wing screws. Here, here, and a few more. And the back half should lift away, and it does. And gives us the insides of our Game Boy. Switch to a Phillips head screwdriver. Carefully not lose these screws. Next, we carefully undo the latches on the ribbon cable here. And that wasn't even plugged in. Well, that's normally plugged in there. Lift the main board out. Let's put our buttons to one side. This is where we can do kind of the what I call the ice tray maneuver, and that's kind of give it a bit of a twist. And the original screen will pop out. Now, the eagle eye among you will probably notice that this screen is already trash. There you go, that's probably a pretty good view. The polarizer, I'm guessing, is started to let go, and there's also a weird bubble in the center of it. So that is destined for e-waste. Looking at our front fascia, there is quite a bit of plastic we're going to have to remove. So the bits we're going to have to remove is a little bit just here, bit down the edge along the bottom, all of this side, all the way around to this point here. And you also need to remove a little bit of the side of the LED cutout, a little bit of this screw post, and a little bit of this screw post. Now, you can actually buy pre-modded cases. I quite like this DMG style case, so I'm actually going to mod my original one. The way I do it is this. I take my flush cutters, And I basically do a rough cut and get out as much as I possibly can. I do find it's useful to clip out the corners just to make breaking each bit off easier. So with the bulk of the plastic cut out where the screen needs to go, I'm now going to grab my knotted Dremel and just basically finish cleaning it up. So at this point, it's probably not a bad idea to test fit the screen to see if it's going to go where we need it to go. Now, I've obviously left the protector on the screen for this, but this should drop in here. You want to push it up and to the left as best you can, and it should, and it does, line up with that little notch just there, straight down the edge of the screen. So we're good. So now that we know that the screen fits, it's time to actually connect its little cable. I made a bit of a mess of this last time I tried to do it, but this should, where are we? This should connect to these connectors here. There's kind of a push together connector. Where's my eyes? And you should feel it snap, and I did. Now, according to the instructions, you should just simply fold this over and cover it in Kapton tape. I'm just going to veer onto the side of caution, and I'm actually just going to put a little bit of double-sided tape, as soon as I can find the edge of it, on the back. Where's my scissors? Basically just to hold it in place. We put this on the back, carefully attempt to pull the backing off the tape, and then just fold this over and into place there. Right. Now we want to cover most of the back of this in Kapton tape. I'm guessing this is to stop A, things from shorting, and B, to kind of hold everything in place. And there's our screen prepped. Okay, next, take the front fascia again and the bit of adhesive. You should be able to knock the middle of the adhesive out, like so. Hopefully I'm doing this right. Remove one of the backing pieces. Which way? That way maybe? Yes. Right. On the backing you've got a little notch just here which seems to wrap around where the LED bezel is. So let's attempt to remove the backing. Need my eyes again, and we should be able to lay this in if we line up all the things. So if you go there, you should run along the top. There we go. That looks good. Okay, our adhesive is in. So what we're going to do now is, you've probably noticed I've actually left the old front protector in here. I'm going to attempt to remove this using the same ice cube tray trick and pop that out. But I'm actually now going to pop it back in, mainly because I want it there, easily removable, but still there to protect our new LCD, because we are about to remove its front protector. So, front protector off, and again, this goes up into that top corner as far as it will go, lining up here. Give it a slight press down, because we don't want to damage the actual screen. All right. No, we need to remove the backing of the adhesive first. Idiot. Let's try that again. Right, screen, hopefully with no dust on it. Up into that corner and lining it up with this notch. And drop it in and just give it a slight press around the edges, and it's not coming out. Okay, what we can do now is drop our buttons back in. Assuming I can find what I did with them. And we want to kind of line these up back to back. So if I take the main board, which you've got to remember will go here like this. Actually, I'm wondering, where are those solder points? No, okay. I'm going to go against the instructions. Let's drop our main board in. So this obviously drops back in where it once was. Of course, knocking the power switch back out, which I probably should have just left. Make sure the speaker is home. Screwdriver and screws. And pop our ribbon cable back in. It's at this point we want to heat up our soldering iron. So with the screen all connected, you'll see on the ribbon cable that there is a couple of solder points, very tiny ones. So this should be fun for me. Start with a little bit of flux. Tin these two pads. One, two. Right, while we're there, we also want to tin pin 1 on the switch, which admittedly I'm trying to do upside down. There we go, that got it. So the next bit we want to pay attention to is this tiny little cable here. Right, it just flipped over. I want to start by putting a tiny little bit of double-sided tape on the actual pad looking bit there. So I'm going to carefully cut a bit of tape that hopefully isn't too big, but also isn't obviously too small. Place this on here, like so. Right, this now needs to be soldered to that point just there. And this should be, well, let's be honest, fun. Ooh, I think I got it. Nice. Also in this little baggie is a tiny little bit of mod wire, which we now need. And it goes from the other pad on the ribbon cable to that pin 1 on the power switch. So, how am I best doing this? Considering I'm going to have to hold it left-handed. Yep. And come on, grab hold of it. I should have found my better tweezers. Yeah, and do it with my finger. I think I got it without ruining anything. Cool. All right, that's also connected. At this point, let's peel off this bit of double-sided sticky tape I put on the touch sensor. Good, and I didn't take the tape with it. And this kind of tucks down into the inside of the case there, and I'm just going to use my tweezers to kind of push that against the case. So that sits in there like that. So last but not least, we can now carefully, hopefully, pop out the old cover that we loosened before. Get a fingernail under it, and that should pop out. Pray no dust gets in, although I did a bit of a shitty job with my grinding before. There we go, that got it. New one, which is, what's going on here? Is it sealed? I think it's sealed. Yeah. Right. Centerpiece should hopefully lift right out. Of course it didn't. Knife. Get an edge. Got it. Adhesive backing off. Is that on the wrong side? It is on the wrong side, damn you, and so are you. God, you're only out for 2 seconds. And nice. Okay, I'll put the back on this, find some batteries, and see if it worked. Ooh, nice. Now, it's obviously beautifully sharp. We've got no blur, we've got none of that. Backlight works really nicely. This is a beautiful screen. Now, it does have some functionality. If you tap the top, you can cycle through 1,000,001 colors. I'm quite the fan, on the Pocket at least, of more of a kind of a grey scale. Where is it? It's a lot of colors. Right, there we go there. And if you touch and hold, you get kind of scan line looking things. So yeah, it kind of gives, there's a bunch of different names for it, like retro pixel or whatever, but it kind of gives those tiny minute little lines in between each pixel the way the original Game Boy screen does, and I kind of like it. Not a big fan of scan lines in general, but on this, works beautifully. There we go. I think that looks really good. And now the contrast dial acts as brightness, which of course my camera is going to try and compensate for, but so it's up, down, back up again. So that's a really nice touch as well. So there we go, one nicely upgraded Game Boy Pocket, and I'm very, very happy with the outcome. Now, I bought mine from retrogamestore.com.au, not sponsored, not affiliated, nothing like that, but I can say that the turnaround was quick. Given their retail prices, it was reasonable considering it's in Australia. I paid for express post, I had it in a couple of days, and generally I've bought stuff from them before and I've been happy, so that's more of a plug than anything else. But for now, that will pretty much do it. If you enjoyed the video, please click like, subscribe, all the usual YouTubey stuff. If you'd like to help support the channel, I am on Patreon, just like these wonderful people just here. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.